So we're back over here to our data and our statistical question. Once again, we are going to use the data from math and arithmetic. This time we're going to find the median, which we've kind of talked about before. So remember, when you think of median, you want to think of middle, like, what's the example? Oh, like the highway, right? And there's the northbound lane, like the southbound lane, right? And then there's that grassy, my hands are so gross. There's that grassy area in between. Maybe it makes more sense to do it this way. You got the road, and the grassy area in between. That's called the median because it's the middle of the highway. So the median is the number that marks the midpoint of an ordered set of data. Now, it's super duper important that it's all put in order like we did for the range and the mode. So just doing it for those two, even though it's not necessarily required for those two things, it's going to help us now find our median because we already have our data in order. So it's I'm going to put the midpoint or middle of an ordered, in all caps because that's super important, set of data. So the important thing about that ordered part, right, is I could totally come over here and just use that data as it is and try to find the median, crossing off my ends, kind of like I talked about with, I think actually just 8A, but I'm going to say it in a second. But that wouldn't actually tell me the middle, right? Because this is all out of order. This doesn't make any sense. I got to actually put it in order before I'm going to be able to find what the actual midpoint of that data is. So let me come back over here. I already have it in order from previous stuff, so I can just copy that real quick. Let's see, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 9, 10. So I'm actually gonna write in orange again. I want to cross off the ends until I get to either one middle or two middles. Let me write that real quick. Cross off each end until you arrive at the middle. Cool. So let's see how that works a little bit. So I want to start on my low end, right? I'm going to cross that one out. Now I'm going to come to my high end. I'm going to cross that one out. And I'm going to keep doing this. I have to go back and forth because I have to make sure if I'm looking for the exact middle, I need to cross off the same amount on this side as I do on this side, right? If I just went cross out, 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 that's not necessarily going to be my middle. So I actually want to make sure I'm going left, right, left, right, left, right, or right, left, right, left. I just got to make sure I do it the same amount of times. So back to it. One there, 3 and 3. Okay, cool. So we ended up with actually two numbers in the middle. So in this case, because it's the same number, I can just say my median is 6 pairs of shoes. Cool, right? So actually, interestingly enough, oh, that's my face. Interestingly enough, our median and our mode are the same number. So that's a possibility. I'm gonna talk more about that later. But if you had two different numbers here, I'm gonna show you what we do when that happens. But basically, you just cross off the ends until you get to the middle. Let me grab, let's use red. So notice how I have 3 crossed off over here. And I also have 3 crossed off over here. I have to make sure I have the same amount crossed out on both sides so that I know I've actually hit the middle. And if I end up with 2, I can't cross those out because then I wouldn't have a number, right? So you're just crossing off those endpoints, making sure you're getting the same amount on both sides of the middle. And there's your median. And that tells us a little bit about the typical amount of shoes in our class. Conveniently, it's the same as our mode. So if I said 6 is our typical amount of pairs of shoes in math enrichment, it seems like that's a pretty good estimate, right? Sometimes it's going to be different from your mode. That's totally possible. I'm slowly losing my train of thought again. Oh, but so the median is something you can use to describe what's typical. So if I just wanted to use the median, even if it was different from the mode, I could potentially use the median to say that 6 pairs of shoes is what's typical for our class.